What I'm telling you is what I used to go through. That was me. Wanting to build, having the desire. I knew the basic steps. But what I had done is I said all the wrong things to all the right people. Because I didn't manage my expectations when I first got involved. So what I'm going to talk to you about right now, for every one of you who stood up, I'm going to show you how to start like I started. I'm going to show you and I'm going to prove it to you. This is no exaggeration. I'm going to bring up proof that it works. Okay? I'm going to show you what I did. I'm going to show you how to start with nothing. Zero. Your list is done. Okay? Your list is done. And what I need here is this here. From the top OG 300 section, give me a person, one person real quick, and I'm going to call some others. Give me just one person. Come on up here. Right on, come on, come on. Both of you come, both of you come. That's fine, both of you come. Come on up. All right, now, so what I'm going to do is this here. I don't know them at all. I'm going to talk to you about how to, now remember, desire, which David talked about, has to be a part of that formula. He gave you a formula yesterday that desire is a part of it. It says the beginning of all achievement, desire, which means you're not going to be able to achieve what we're talking about if you don't have desire. So just because I show it to you doesn't mean that you're going to do it. The desire must be there. So I'm going to show you, I don't have anybody on my list. I'm going to show you how to cultivate what I call friendships. How to cultivate friendships. Some people call it 3-foot rule. You will hear some people in the industry say, oh, that's old. Oh, well, if you got to make a list of names and talk to people, then that's not what, times have changed. No, they haven't. That's, making a list is the #1 way to build a business. If you're embarrassed to talk to your friends about your multi-million-dollar opportunity and a stranger's going to listen to you, no. You talk to your people. If I called you up, hey, listen, this is what I found. I don't know if you know this, but there was 2 18-wheel trucks, and they was carrying gold bars. One of them turned over. But I got a call, you know, man, with the government. The government said they need some help. They said that, listen, because they don't want to cause a frenzy in the community, in the city. They said that 25% of gold bars, if we help them get up before everybody finds out about it, we get to keep. You can bring some people with you, and whatever that they pick up, you get 10% of what they pick up as well. What you gonna do? Let me call some leads. Let me buy some leads and call some. No. Hey, Casey, listen. I don't know what you're doing, but y'all need to get up right now. Listen, come on over here. Bring the pickup truck. Whatever that truck y'all put the deer and the bears in with the shoe. Bring that. Don't bring the small one, okay? Bring that. All right? That's what I'm making those for. I'm caught. Why? It's an opportunity. The reason that people talk about don't call personal friends with MLM is because of what they think that the other people think about MLM. I've never had an MLM approach. I don't do MLM. I'm a businessman who happens to use MLM as a platform in order to create wealth. I'm not a network marketer. Never. I used to be when I wasn't making money. Then I grew up and became a businessman. It's the most incredible way to create a fortune on the planet. Okay? So what I'm going to show you is this. Let's just say I'm going to show you what I call the 3-foot rule. What I do, how I do it. Now, what I want you to understand is you don't go out to prospect. Prospect while you're out. Because what happens, this is what I used to do. I would go through Houston every day. I would dress up, put my suit on, and I would go through the business district, what we call the shops, the park shops underground, downtown Houston, and I would go through every single day. I never missed a day. Every single day that I was in Houston, I would go around there, and I would go for at least an hour and a half minimum during everybody's lunch break, and I would go, and here I am. I've got my spear. Got me one, all right? And they saw, I didn't know it, but they saw me coming. They could feel it, okay? Because here I am, I'm just looking for somebody who's sharp, somebody who's going to make eye contact. As soon as they make eye contact, I'm coming over there, right? Because my only goal is to get that name and phone number, and I will succeed. No, I was an amateur back then. Now, I'm sophisticated. All right, now, here we go. So my goal is this: I make friends anywhere that I am. Everywhere that I go, you want to just make friends. So all you want to do is make friends, okay? So, the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to teach you something that what I call, you've heard it before, it's called form. F-O-R-M. Form. Family. First subject. Occupation. Second subject. R. Recreation. Third subject. M. Money or motivation. Fourth subject. Why do I teach you form? Form, so it's something simple for you to remember in terms of what you will do to engage friendly conversation. Keep OG off of your mind. In the beginning, you're going to have it on your mind. But if you want to be effective, keep it off of your mind. Remember, if you serve people and you develop a pleasing personality, Reds, that's going to be hard, but if you develop a pleasing personality, you will develop chemistry, and people will want. They will want to know what it is that you do. Okay? They will want to know what it is that you do. And so, if a person's in my path, whatever it is, one of the first things I do is I give them a sincere compliment. I give them a sincere compliment. Okay? And it's got to be sincere. It's got to be sincere. Don't give these false compliments. It doesn't work. Don't be so repetitious. Don't do this where all you're thinking about is what you're about to say next, because you're not listening. Listen, and this will work magic for you. Okay? And so let's just say that we were sitting in, maybe I'm in the bookstore, I'm at the grocery store, I work out in the gym, or wherever it may be, and I do happen to see someone who looks pretty sharp. Both of these guys are very sharp, okay? But they look pretty sharp, whatever it may be, and I feel it's not awkward or whatever, okay? And I come over to them, okay? And maybe, let's say it's during the daytime, okay? Hey, how you doing? You own a business, you dress pretty casual. I know most people work for somebody else, is always dressed up. You own a business? Do you? What kind of business do you own? A real estate rental management company. I'm repeating it back in my head because I now it's going to tell me a little bit about who he is, his responsibilities, and what he does. My name's Holton, by the way. What's your name? Matthew. Nice to meet you, Matthew. Okay? Now, this is what you do. Because 95% of you, what you do is you always introduce yourself, and 95, probably 99% of you forget the person's name. And you're so embarrassed to ask them again. How many of you don't do that? Let me tell you how not to do that. I've got a secret.
You repeat it.
Real simple. This is what I do. I always say that person's name 5 times. They don't even know that I've done it. I repeat it 5 times within a short period of time, and I never forget it. Okay? So I ask, my name's Holton. What's your name? Matthew. Nice to meet you, Matthew. I've already said it twice. Now, Matthew owns a real estate management company. I gave him a compliment. I told him he looked like a business owner. You know, I know most of the people who are here, you know, who work for someone else are pretty dressed up, but this atmosphere, you're just pretty casual. You must own a company around here. Oh yeah, I did. It's a sincere compliment. Yeah, I own a real estate management company. I introduced myself, okay? So now, I'm going to go into form. I'm going to go into form. Okay? Matthew, is your company around here?
Yeah, it's not too far away.
Not too far away? Do you live around this area as well?
Yeah, I live just a couple blocks over.
A couple blocks away. You have a family here?
Yeah, no, single.
You single?
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. How long have you lived in this area?
This is a big gymnasium, man.
Matthew, you may not be single, back in Benson. Okay? Now, if you notice, I've already said his name 4 times. First, Matthew. Nice to meet you, Matthew. Matthew, do you live around your business around here? No. I mean, yes. You live around this area as well? You have any family around here, Matthew? I'm at 4 already. He doesn't know it, but I want to give you the slight edge. The subconscious mind, the most pleasing sound that it will ever hear is the correct pronunciation of its first name. I've got the edge. He doesn't even know that, but I understand how his emotions work. So when I say his name over and over in a pleasing way, he likes me. He doesn't know why. You ever see somebody and they say, it's something about this person? Oh, yeah. Okay? It's on purpose. Pleasing personality. Okay? Now, when I'm talking to the person, I will be able to determine whether he's a red, blue, green, or yellow within the first 2 to 3 minutes. Okay? Within the first 2 to 3 minutes. Family, occupation, recreation, money, or message. Now, I've already done the O first. I've already talked about occupation. It doesn't matter in which order you do it. It's just normal. It's just a normal pattern for you to remember until you get good at doing it. Make sense? Okay. So he's already told me about his family, that he doesn't have a family here. He's single. Okay. Let me ask you a question. Is it you just have, just have to find the right one? You just don't want to have any kids or anything of that nature?
No, I'm not married, but I do have a serious relationship.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does she work as a part of your business? Does she work as a part of your business, Matthew?
No, she has her own business.
She has her own business.
Yeah.
Okay. Both are entrepreneurs. Both are entrepreneurs. He's attracted to entrepreneurs. I'm not going to talk overtime language to him. I'm not going to talk how much, put them in the mindset of how much they make per hour. They're entrepreneurs. They don't think in that mode. I'm going to speak business language to him. It doesn't mean that he's a better prospect than, let's just say, Daniel, who's my prospect that may work a job. He's not better. This just means that my language, my conversation is going to be geared towards him. How many of you have ever heard the golden rule? Treat people the way you want to be treated. Forget that rule. It doesn't exist anymore. That's a rule to stay where you are. Practice the platinum rule. Treat people the way they want to be treated. Because maybe you like people all up in your face because you're confrontational. But Matthew may not like that. Daniel may not like that. So I'm going to treat him the way I want, the way he wants to be treated. What I do, and I'm going to show you this as I go through a series, I'm going to show you what's called a mirroring technique. This is all about the EC. Mirroring techniques means that what I'm going to do, I'm going to mirror some parts of their personality without them knowing it. If Matthew spoke real fast, I wouldn't be speaking like I'm speaking now. Why? Because his ears are adjusted to the speed in which he talks. The voice that he's heard the most is his. So if Matthew speaks fast, I'm going to be speaking a little faster because I'm dialing in to his radio frequency, and my message is going to come across a little clearer. If he spoke a little slower, I'm going to slow down my message a little bit as well because he hears better based on how he speaks. Small little nuances I'm giving about the EC, people skills, understanding who you're dealing with. Okay? So I've already talked about family. I've already talked about occupation. Okay? Recreation. Business, or you do any golf, play any golf?
Yeah, actually I do quite a bit.
Do you?
Yeah, I played a little college.
Did you? Okay, so you're one of those guys who take all of my money out of the golf course, right? So I make it light because I'm just having some fun. OG is not on my mind. It's not on my mind. Right? Now I'm going to get to my message. It may be a fit, it may not be a fit. I don't know. I don't know. Okay? But when he talks about golf, now I got a hot button. Sometimes I can stop and I can go to my hot button. Okay? Now let's say we're in the same community and I may ask him, you know, are you a member of a country club, blah, blah, blah? And yeah, well, listen, man, I love to play that. I'm a member here. Have you ever played Royal Oaks Country Club?
You know, I haven't. I've heard good things.
I've heard some great men. Maybe we should get together and play some golf.
I think that'd be fun if I could find the time.
Yeah. So now you think I'm going to talk to him about money? Making all the money he wants to make. He's an entrepreneur. He's rich in money, but time poor. Okay? So I'm listening. So if I can find the time, I'm talking a little bit about golf now. Let me ask you a question. Is it that both of y'all's businesses keep you so busy?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's a lot going on. The market's ebb and flow.
So a lot of time you put into your business right now?
Yeah, still building. So
watch this. With that type of time that you put into your business, you must be making a fortune right now, huh?
Well, we do okay. Yeah, we do okay.
I always put them on the higher side of money. Because they always come down and say, well, we're doing all right, but
we can do better.
Never say, oh, you're in the oil business? Oh, you must be broke right now. Everybody's cutting down. Because he's going to say, no, I'm doing exceptionally well. Matter of fact, we just got a raise. We just got this new contract, whatever it may be. Okay? So now, you know, I'm digging. Let me ask you a question. I mean, what is it that you're doing right now to find more time? Are you taking on less projects? Are you diversifying? Or do you see kind of where you're able to have more time?
Yeah, you know, actually, we're building the company up so I can bring on some more people to kind of replace myself. That's the ultimate goal.
Is it pretty expensive to do that?
Yeah, you know how it is. I think that every time we want to expand, you got to take on more debt. So.
Yeah, I remember when I was in that industry as well, and how it was, and employees and things of that nature. You know, kind of glad that I've kind of been able to migrate myself out of that.
What is it you do?
Louis' face.
He asked. You see how I didn't push what I did on him? I didn't put him down. I understand. I'm now on his side. I completely understand the employees and those types of things and the upsizing, downsizing, and I'm so grateful I've been able to migrate out of that. And then he's asked me, well, what is it that you do? 99% of you in here have no idea what it is that you do. I proved it at my last Super Saturday. You've got to develop what we call your USP, your unique sales proposition. You got to know, you got to have what I call your 15-second elevator pitch. I don't have the time to develop it the way I did at the Super Saturday, but you got to know, because 90+% of you, this is your answer. Oh, I'm in the coffee business. You lost it.
Yeah.
I say I'm in the coffee business when I don't want to be bothered with a prospect. You can't say that now because you need to be bothered with every person who will give you 5 seconds of their attention. But sometimes I'm on the plane, people ask me what I'm in network marketing because I don't want you talking to me. I don't want to be bothered right now. Network, that's my kryptonite. I give them my kryptonite. I talk to them, I know he's going to try to recruit me. I tell them that. I don't want to be bothered. Okay? But when I'm building, I couldn't afford to say that. Okay? I couldn't afford to say that. So when he says what it is that you do, everybody knows what my statement is. I've got several different statements. I use the appropriate statement for the appropriate person. Okay? Well, Matt, it's interesting that you asked. Actually, what I do is I take professionals and non-professionals. I actually put them into a 18-month program to show them how to develop a 6 or 7 figure income on a part-time basis. Matter of fact, the reason I'm in this area is because I've got open enrollment. In your business line of work, would you know anybody who would, be looking for that type of program?
Wow. So 18 months, you said?
Yeah, for some. Some do it a little, quicker than that, but it's all depending on the person, the type of business savvy and motivation that they have.
Part-time. I might be, I might be interested actually myself. I'm curious.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'll tell you what, why don't we do this? Let's see if we can find some time to play some golf. If not, why don't we sit down over a cup of coffee? And we'll discuss on it. I know you've been successful in business, but I don't want to make any commitments to you. You don't make any to me because there's even a chance that you may not even qualify to do what it is that we're doing. But why don't we just sit down and talk about it and maybe play some golf, and we'll have a great cup of coffee.
That sounds great. Yeah.
Matthew, what's the best number for me to reach you outside of home and work?
Well, probably my cell phone.
That's the number I wanted.
My cell phone.
I never mention the number that I want. I exclude the other 2 numbers that I know he has. I never ask a woman for a cell phone number when I'm prospecting. It is invasive. You ask, what's the best number that I can reach you or your husband outside of home and work? You or your husband. She's going to give me her cell phone number. But she knows I'm not asking for any other reasons other than business. You got to understand, these are people, some of us have turned away diamonds just because of how we ask for the phone number. The person who would have been a diamond in the organization. Okay? So I make sure that I give him my number, I get his number, and then that's it. I shake some hands, whatever it is. Man, it's so nice to meet you now. I've said his name probably 8 times throughout our conversation. It takes me maybe 5 or 10 minutes of conversation to build rapport. By the way, if you ever talking to a person one-on-one like this, don't do this. This is a sign that I'm closed off. I'm not open and I'm not receptive to what you're giving me. My hands are either going to be behind, my hands are going to be down, or in a very neutral position because I want to be open, I want to be friendly. This right here is standoffish. He doesn't know it, but the energy in him, I'm telling you how people are wired. This sends a signal that I'm closed or I'm hiding something. Okay? So, why am I giving you this? I'm giving you the 3-foot rule for a reason. Because every day that I leave the house, if you leave the house from now, what you're going to do is you're going to do the 3-foot rule. Daniel, I've got something else that I'm going to have you do, that I'm going to have for you in a minute here. Okay? I want you to participate in something else. You have a seat over here, and in a second I'm going to have you have a seat over here. Okay? So, what you're going to do every day I leave the house, I take 5 coins, 5 quarters. I put them in my right pocket, and what my goal was that I would make sure that I do not come home until I move the 5 quarters from my right pocket to my left pocket. And the only way I can move a quarter from my right pocket to my left pocket is I had to make and meet a new friend, not a prospect. I don't know if they're a prospect yet. The energy may not be right. If we wouldn't have said anything about business and we only talked about golf, I would have set up some golf, made me a new friend. At some point in time, I'm going to find out a little bit more about his needs and desires. And that's when I'm going in, to talk to him, to see what I can offer to service his needs. I'm not thinking about me getting him in so I can get a fast start bonus. I'm thinking about me solving an issue. Remember, the people who solve the biggest issues make the biggest money. Why is Bill Gates the richest person in the world? He has solved challenges for more people around the world than anybody else in the history of our business world. You say, well, he ain't solving any problems for me. Take away your cell phone. See how many problems you have. Take away your computers. Every single one of us right now today are involved with some technology that he spearheaded, and we're involved with it at least 10 to 15 times a day. That's why he's the richest person in the world. You are a problem-solving specialist. So you got to learn what your unique your USP is. I take professionals and non-professionals. I actually put them in, enroll them in a 6 to 18 month program, and actually show them on a part-time basis how to develop a 6 or 7 figure income. Matter of fact, the reason I'm out here is because I've got open enrollment, and we got open enrollment. Would you know anybody who would be interested in such a program? I never asked him, would he be open? Would you? Yeah, me. Matthew, would you be open to that? It's too direct. I'm putting pressure on him to say yes. I don't do it that way. So you got to decide what it is that you do. You got to be able to effectively say it. Let me share something with you. The reason I say what I say what I say about my profession, not to explain anything. The only purpose for telling them what you do is to provoke them to ask a question. You want them to feel that there's a possibility of inclusion in what it is that you do. I'm in the coffee business. He don't want to be in the coffee business. He don't know anything about coffee except he drinks it. That's it. It stops there. No, I'm not in the coffee business. One of my shortest ones that I used to use. People ask me, what do you do? Oh, I'm a millionaire coach. Every single time. You're what? I'm a millionaire coach. Well, because I say what I say and I shut up. I don't keep talking. I shut up.
Exactly.
Somebody gonna get some sunglasses for me. But I think, see, it's my ego saying I'm gonna win. But I know if I win, somebody in here loses. Because I don't get to finish what I need to do.
Right. Keep going. Keep going.
And it's the greed in me that's justifying. I got 30 more minutes. You back there jumping for joy. I'm just gonna hide my big sunglasses. Hope you can do that. Anyway.
I do.
I guess y'all know me. Anyway. So I say what I'm gonna say about what it is that I do. Okay? About what it is that I do to provoke a question. That's it, to provoke a question. Don't get so overly technical. Don't try to impress them. You want to make it simple. You want to make it look appealing, but you most of all want them to feel that there's room for them, possibly, to just pick what it is that you do, or to ask another question. Okay? So that's what you want to do. Okay? That's how I go out and build a business. So I may ask him another question. For example, when we talked about time. If it was good and we didn't talk about his business or anything else or golf, but I exchanged numbers, I called him up 2 days later. Hey Matthew, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. This is Holton.
Hey man, this is Holton. We had a chance to meet over at the bookstore the other day.
Oh yeah. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing fantastic, man. Hope business is doing great for you.
We're busy, yeah.
I understand. Hey, listen, man, I was giving you a call on that. You know what? I thought we kind of hit it off a little bit. And I wanted to ask you a question.
Sure.
When we were talking and you were talking about not having time, was that something you were real serious about, or you were just having a conversation?
No, I'm serious.
I don't want to skip too far here, and I'll just take a shot in the dark. But if there was a way for you to be able to compress some time and be able to have some more freedom, is that something that you would look to explore?
Absolutely. As long as I don't have to lower my lifestyle.
I completely understand. Well, listen, there's a couple things that myself and a couple business partners are doing, and you told me you and your fiance own a couple businesses, and I couldn't make a promise to you right now, but there's some things that are going on pretty great right now, and I just want to sit down and maybe we could just go over a couple details and share a couple things with you. It may be for you, it may not be for you, but 7 o'clock on Thursday, over at my house, we're just going to have a little coffee mixed with a couple of my partners. Would you be able to reprioritize your schedule for about an hour? and come over for a cup of coffee and sit down and discuss the details about what we're doing in our project?
Yeah, I think I'd be interested to learn some more.
Great. I'm giving the address, blah, 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 whatever it is. Now I've set up a meeting. Okay? So when I've set my meeting up, this is what I'm going to do. Come on over here, let's have a seat. Okay? He's at the house, or maybe we're at a restaurant. Have a seat over at the other side over here. He's at a restaurant. I'm going to show you how I do a one-on-one. Remember, I started, I don't have any prospects. I'm out of prospects. Everybody in my group's quit. Everybody's told me no. My church has kicked me out. The Boy Scouts won't let me back in. I have nobody else on this earth to call about organic gold. But I know that there's more people in the world that I don't know than there are that I do know. And so the world are my leads. I have 0 people in my group. I have not one single person in my group. And I am going to go diamond. I'm going to show you how it's been done. I've got a person in here who did exactly what I'm talking about and went diamond. And just a little bit beyond. Doing it, started with every person quit. Quit. They had no family, nobody, no friends. Every one of them, done, gone. And he started reaching that hand out. Hey, how you doing? 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 So, my one-on-one. Maybe I'm at a coffee shop, maybe I'm at a bookstore, maybe I'm at a cafe. I'm doing now a one-on-one. And to show you what I do at a one-on-one, I'm going to show you how I equip myself at a one-on-one, what tools I bring at a one-on-one. When I come at a one-on-one, let me tell you how I dress. The way that I dress is going to be the same or a little bit sharper than what I believe my prospect is going to dress. When I met him, he was dressed in a t-shirt. I'm going to come in a real nice crisp t-shirt or a collared shirt. It depends. You can tell who they are. Some people, so what you want to do is just, remember, you're mirroring. Just like the talk, just like their act. You want to make sure that you provide an atmosphere that is familiar. You don't want culture shock immediately before they got involved in the business. When I first joined network marketing, I was so formal with everything that I did. Okay? So what I'm going to bring my OG kit. I'm going to bring coffee. I'm not bringing boxes of stuff. I'm not lugging in a big suitcase of stuff. I'm at a one-on-one. In my little kit. It's my first one-on-one. What am I going to have? I'm equipped. Okay? If you're a carpenter without a hammer, don't think you're going to succeed. You got to have the proper tools. I'm going to have my calendar. I'm going to share with you why I'm going to have my calendar. Very important. I'm going to have my flip chart. I'm going to show you how I use it. I am going to have a gold magazine.
Yes,
If you don't have tons of these, I don't want to say you're not serious, but you're not serious. You're playing around, okay? I'm going to have this. Okay? Not always on a one-on-one, but I'm just saying. It was in there. Nice picture, by the way. Okay? So that's what I'm going to have as I'm there. I've got coffee. I'm not coming in with all these boxes of coffee. I'm going to leave my big stuff in my car. I'm coming in real simple. Even if I don't have my briefcase, I'm just going to come in with those things. Why? Because I'm coming in to have a conversation. I'm coming in to find out a little bit more about how I can service Matthew. All I'm going to talk about is what his issue was. So when I sit down with Matthew, obviously, what I'm going to do, I told him we'll sit down for a cup of coffee. I'm going to make sure that I sit down and we're going to have a cup of coffee. I'm going to make sure the first couple minutes of our time is going to be very casual conversation. I'm going to arrive on time. Don't take it for granted that everybody likes you to be late. For the one-on-one, if you got a green, you better be there on time. Your blue's going to be late, but you be on time. I want to make sure that I have everything going in my favor. I never want to have it where I've got to build myself back up for him to trust me. What I said I'm going to do, as him as my prospect, I have to do it. So when I go there, we got a table, and what I do is we're just going to have some casual conversation. And when we have casual conversation, Matthew is more than likely going to tell me a little bit more about what's missing in his life. Why? We're meeting for the second time. And then I get into it. Matthew, listen, let me share with you the purpose of us meeting here. I told you a little bit about what we're doing and expansion project that we've got going on right now. And I want to kind of just really share a few things that I believe could help you gain some of your time back. When I own my own business as well in the traditional sense, I had the same issues that you had, so I can identify with them. I had a lot of money coming in, but I had 0 time. As a matter of fact, there were just times that I felt that my wife had a better lifestyle than me because I was out working, running the business, and she was at home spending. And able to do whatever it is that she wanted, had almost no freedom. What I did find is this. What I'm doing now is I'm relating to him. I'm saying the things that I know he's going through. Okay? That are true. If it's not me, I'm using somebody else as a reference. So Matthew, basically what I found is this. I had a good friend of mine to give me a phone call and told me about a particular product that he thought was one of the greatest products in demand for time compounding in business. And it's kind of ironic because I pressured him about this product and he ended up telling me the product was coffee, what we're drinking right now. And at that time, I didn't even drink coffee. Okay? But what I did find is this guy was extremely successful, very, very successful. And as a matter of fact, he introduced me to some people who had actually started netting per week what I was earning per year on a gross basis. And what I did is I did a little bit of evaluation and investigation on my own. And I made a decision that it was very smart for me to add this business model to my portfolio. Remember, I'm talking to a business person here. I'm talking to a teenager, or a high school, college kid. I'm not using this, I'm talking their language. Okay, I'm modeling. And so, Matthew, let me ask you a question. Do you or anybody that you know drink coffee on a regular basis?
Yeah, absolutely.
Typically, when you drink your coffee, how do you know if you drink it?
I like cream and sugar. Black's a little too harsh for me.
Yeah, I understand. And who's the company that you buy your coffee from the most?
I don't drink it every day, but when I do, I probably stop in at Starbucks on the way to work.
I'm going to ask you a question that really would be the starting point of what I want to share with you, and I think I know the answer, but I'll ask anyway. When was the last time Starbucks ever sent you a commission check for drinking or even telling somebody about their coffee?
They paid me?
Yeah.
No, I pay them.
You know what?
They take my money every time.
That's the answer I get all the time. Well, let me ask you this. Knowing what you know today about Starbucks, if you had known that 15 years ago and had a chance to invest, would you have done it?
Oh, absolutely.
You know what? I wish we could go back in time because I would have done it as well. What I want to share with you is what I believe is the next biggest opportunity that the industry of coffee is offering. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm gonna sit. I'm not bringing out my flip chart now. I use my flip chart as reference. I don't want to be formal. I know my business. I'm going to talk to Matthew. And so throughout the presentation, I'm not going to do a full presentation. Let me share what the purpose of the one-on-one presentation is. The purpose of the one-on-one presentation is to first of all find out, you've already found out what he's looking for, and you're going to use this business model to show him how to do it. I'm going to talk to him a little bit about distribution. You know, Matthew, when I started my business, just like you, typically what I found is that the normal chain of business, the way we've done it before, and I say we because I want to include him, the way we've done it before, what I found is that when I learned a new way of doing business, I found the way I was doing it was old. Let me give you an example of what I mean now. You know, let's just say, for example, you know, LeBron James has got the hottest tennis shoe that's sold right now in the world. Do you know that shoe right now sells anywhere between $300 to $600 depending on when you buy the shoe?
Wow, no, I didn't know it was that much.
The reason I know is because, you know, I've got a 17-year-old son, and he tells me the shoes that he buys, okay? But what I want you to understand is this, Matthew. What I found was this. This is the business model that I was in, and I found that there was a difference that we could actually capture. What I found is this here, is that shoe only costs $16 to manufacture.
Yeah.
But by the time it gets to the end consumer, it's $300 or $600. The reason why is this: the manufacturer starts with that product and manufactures for a cost of $16. What typically happens after that is they're going to have a national distributor to take that particular product, and that's when they apply this product in to a national distributor. The national distributor then takes that product after it's been marked up from the manufacturer, and they're going to actually take that product and take it to a regional distributor. And they're going to have a percentage of markup. That regional distributor takes that same shoe, and what they do is they're going to go out and locally distribute it within the city. And this is going to be regional warehouses that you see it in, and they're going to mark it up. And what's going to happen is now the local is going to put it into retail stores. The retail stores are now going to take that product and sell it to the end user customers, people like you and me. This is why a $16 shoe ends up being between $300 and $600, because this person, this person, this person, and this person got all of that marked up. That's the traditional way that business goes. And what I found is this. My buddy showed me a way, these people who were making his fortune showed me a way that we could actually take all of these percentages of markup, okay? And what we can do is we can X all of these people out, and we can take this markup, all of that markup, the majority of it, 50% of the total markup, and we can pass it along back to you, the business owner. And I was wondering, how in the world can we cut all of these people out? Okay? And so what we did is our company started with a manufacturing our product, which is coffee, this product that you're drinking right here. So I'm basically giving him a little bit of the why network marketing, why the business side, and how it's possible to make this type of money. He doesn't know anything about network marketing. I'm going to talk to him now about the coffee industry. So network marketing, I've talked about him, his issues. Now I'm going to talk to him about network marketing, coffee industry. I give him some stats on the coffee industry. And I talk about, let me share with you what's happened recently. You probably, I don't know if you're aware of it or not, but recently Starbucks started something that has now become a trend all over the world, and it's a gourmet coffee trend. You know, before Starbucks, it was very difficult for a person to pay $4 or $5 for a cup of coffee. But today, Starbucks made it acceptable all over the world. This is why you and I are right now sitting in here. If you notice, look at the receipt, it's $6 for what we're buying here. Okay? Starbucks started that issue. And so what has happened is Starbucks started, and then I go through the same thing that you've already saw in the presentation. Starbucks, McDonald's, Burger King, blah, blah, blah. I give him an area of what's actually taking place. I'm giving that as credibility for him to understand why this industry is so profitable. And then, this is what I do. I say, well, Matthew, what we've done is this here. We have found a way to take that product to be in the same position as Starbucks, but not to have the overhead expenses, not to have the time expenses, not to have the monetary expenses that we typically have in traditional business, but to be able to make the same amount of money, and sometimes, in some cases, even more. This is now what I explained to him, how our distribution of our compensation plan works. I do not go through the detail of our compensation plan. Let me explain to you what I do in our compensation plan. You've seen it on the coffee that pays. Okay? Now, every time I draw something out, I ask, Matthew, does this make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay? Every time, does this make sense to you? Okay? Does this sound like something that's reasonable to you to be able to, make this type of profit if you eliminated 4 or 5 distribution chains? What if you were able to eliminate the distribution chains in your business that you have, and you were able to save all of that cost? Would you increase your profits?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. So when I go to the McDonald's, I cover that same thing as well. The McDonald's, the Burger King, all of those details. I cover that real simple. When I get to the compensation plan, this is what I cover. Matthew, what I'm going to show you right now, I'm going to show you a way to do time compounding, because one of your biggest concerns that you mentioned to me was that you would be open to ways of making more money if it didn't diminish your current lifestyle or add a lot more time to what you have. Is that, you still?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What I'm going to show you right now is what we've been able to do in the plan that we've devised that has really, really, really taken some business owners, given them more lifestyle, more money, and it's been pretty phenomenal. Now, this is how it works. I want to ask you a couple of questions. I've already showed them our coffee and things of that nature. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. My first question is this here. Based off the taste of our coffee, what do you think about the taste of that coffee?
Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
Now, Matthew, based on the taste of the coffee here, do you believe it's reasonable within 30 days to be able to develop or to change the brand of coffee of at least 10 people that you know, develop 10 people who would drink the organic brand of coffee in 30 days? Out of all the people in the world that you know, just 10?
Just on taste alone?
Just on the taste alone.
Yeah, I think so.
It's pretty reasonable. Matthew, I've got people who've got over 100 customers. I've got people who've done 100 customers in 30 days. So I'm just saying 10. Maybe in your neighborhood, maybe just a small section of people that we can share our product with and who would actually buy the product. That's pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
All I want to do is get them saying yes. I ask questions that's going to bring about a nod. So do you think that's pretty reasonable?
Yes.
And I'm shaking my head. Okay? That's pretty reasonable, isn't it? He's not going to say no. I believe it. Okay? That's pretty reasonable. Yes, it is. It's pretty reasonable. Okay? Now, so let me share with you how that works. In this example, 30 days, you got 10 customers. What we found is that the average customer buys 2 boxes of products. That's going to be about 20 boxes of products that are being sold directly through you. Now, what we're doing here is this. My goal is to show you as a business professional how to develop a portfolio of customers just like these that are subscribing to a gourmet coffee service. You know how people have, maybe water delivered to their house? You hear with Sparklets or Zarka or Arrowhead?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know that more people desire coffee over water?
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Interesting.
absolutely. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you, and I give him some coffee statistics. We've already gone through that as well, okay, the coffee statistics. So when you've got 75, 85% of people drinking 3 to 5 cups of coffee on a daily basis, this is a pretty simple thing. The beauty of it is this, Matthew, is that once you establish these clients and you service them, well, they will forever remain a client of yours. What this means, Matthew, is this. You took 30 days to get these 20 boxes. The next month, you don't have to service them anymore. You don't have to sell them anymore. But let's just say that you made a $15 commission off of every box. That's going to be a $300 commission that you make on a monthly basis. But Matthew, let me share something with you. There's 12 months in the year. You now have a $3,600 increase. It's not a whole lot of money, but you only had to get 10 customers and you did in the first 30 days. Do you understand now, how profitable this concept can be?
Yeah, absolutely.
No, obviously, Matthew, this is not going to change your lifestyle, but I want to go to the next thing and show you how it possibly can impact you and how you can actually time compound. See, Matthew, you're a busy professional like I am. And what I noticed was that most busy people don't have the time to start a new enterprise. But it's not that you don't have the time. It's just that what you want is you want to have the time working for you, right? So let me share with you what I've learned. I learned leverage through this concept here. So let's just imagine here, let's just say over the next 18 months here, we put a plan together. 18 months. Well, let's just say our first step is to go ahead and find a few other people who have a little bit more time than you do. Let's just say that they have 10 hours a week to work their business, okay? So let's just say that we found and you developed a network of 10 other individuals to work their business. But they also have 10 hours. You know what this means, Matthew? This means that you now have 100 hours of time working for you while you only put in 10.
Sounds good.
Just imagine right now being able to duplicate yourself 10 different times. Would that be pretty cool?
That'd be great.
That's what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
So what we're saying is over the next 18 months, we've got a system that's been developed to show you how to build an organization of these 10 other people, of 1,000 other people who are doing the exact same thing that you're doing. Let me show you how this compensation plan works. Let's say it took you 6 months just to find the first 10. Is that reasonable? 6 months to find 10 people?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Let's say the next 6 months that those 10 found 10, which now is going to give you 100 other individuals that are entrepreneurs. It took you a whole year, you got 110 people. That's pretty reasonable, right?
So,
Because some people actually get this done in a week. What they do in the week, I'm sure you can do in a year, right?
yeah.
Let's just say, for example, here, that it took another 6 months to have those 100 to find their 10. Now you've got 1,000 individuals in your organization who are business professionals. Let me share with you what the results are, okay? What happens is this. Our system, what we do is we show each person how to develop 10 clients who are subscribing to a gourmet coffee service. So let's just say the 1,000 people who got 10, that's going to be 10,000 clients that you got who have subscriptions to a gourmet coffee service. What happens is this, Matthew. Our company, Organo Gold, what we do is we assign points to each product. But remember, the average customer buys 2 boxes of coffee on a monthly basis. In this example, that would be 20,000 boxes of coffee. 20,000 boxes of coffee times 15, what we call points, CV. We assign points to it. The CV is what the company's going to pay you on. So if you got 20,000 boxes times 15 CV, that's going to put you at around 300,000 CV. Remember, you got 10 clients who sold 20 boxes of coffee. You're only responsible for 300 CV, but your organization has done 300,000. It's time compounding, if you understand. Our organization, the company's compensation plan, can pay you somewhere between 8 to 12% on that volume. It's all depending on how your business is structured. It could be a little less than 8%. It could even be a little bit more than 12. But I just want to keep numbers easy here. Let's say it was in the middle at 10%. 10% times the 300,000 points is how much money? How much? I let them say it. Now remember, this is based off of the result of your network. Now let me ask you a question. Do you still have these customers next month?
I believe so. Yeah.
Do they drink coffee the next month?
Sure.
So what happens the next month? How much money is that next month?
It should be the same.
So what we're talking about here is the result of having 10,000 subscribers to a gourmet coffee service over the next 18 months. This is the kind of residual income that it nets you. And remember, you started your business with putting 10 hours a week in. My question is for you is this. Could you find, based off of what you're doing, could you find 10 to 20 hours of your non-productive time if you knew that this is the type of result you get in 18 months?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
And from there, that's when I'm going to go into the closing process. I won't do that now. You saw me do that at convention, and I went into the closing process of how I close. All I'm doing now is giving you an example of now what I'm doing is I'm collecting 5 names every single day. Why? Because I'm making my phone calls so that my goal is that I can start from no people to 5 a day at the end of the week. If I'm only doing this 5 days a week, I've got 25 names. Out of 25 names, I can be doing a minimum of one-on-one per day. 1 a day. That means only 20% of the people that I talk to, I will be successful in setting up an appointment. So what I do is this. I'm going to show you how to move from 0, how to collect 1 name, how to collect 5 a day, how to now do the one-on-one. Later on in another training, I'm going to go through a detailed concept of the one-on-one. Today is just showing you the formula of moving forward. So now, on my one-on-one, this is what has happened. I have successfully brought Matthew into the business. He is the first person. He now has a list of prospects that he is not going through. There is no need in the world for me to buy a lead because he knows people. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
By the way, I have officially lost my bet. But I believe with what I'm sharing with you, we're going to create enough volume for me to buy a sunglass store if I want to, right? Man, all right. I just don't like losing. But I won. Okay, so now here we go. So from here, I have now successfully enrolled Matthew. Matthew knows what the game plan is. Matthew knows that he knows that my game plan is 10,000 customers in this example here. Him being a businessman. I'm showing this to him in this example. Okay? I am not going to take a person who's making $30,000 a year and show them $30,000 a month. I'm going to blow them out of the water. A person who's making $30,000 a year, I'm going to show them, I may show this example, but I say, listen, let me ask you a question. This is an example for someone who's got some experience here. But what if your result after 18 months was only an extra $30,000 a year? Okay? That is a sapphire. That's a sapphire. Okay? So you can get that done. So you want to be relatable to them. So now, here's what I do. I'm going to do enough of these one-on-ones. Remember, for every 5, my goal is to make sure I can set up 1 appointment. I won't get all of the appointments. You got to know the number to grow the number. So now I've got 1. So that means this week I've set up 5 one-on-ones. I've done 5. On my one-on-ones, your goal should be to sign up 20 to 30% of the people. What I'm telling you is you can fail 70 to 80% of the time on your way to being a millionaire. Okay? So now, hold on. This week, I've now done 5 one-on-ones. I've sponsored 1. I've got Matthew. The next week, I'm doing more, more one-on-ones. I'm sponsoring another one. So now, what I've got, if you want to get 12 wide, you can get 12 wide minimum in 60 to 90 days if you're just willing to take 5 quarters from your right pocket to your left pocket. It's called network marketing. That's the work part that most people are afraid of doing. Most people think that the people are going to show up on your door, knock on, ring your doorbell and say, hey, I've been looking for you. I want 15 gold packs. I got 14 other people ready.
Right.
It hasn't happened to me yet. You got to go look for these people, find them. So I'm always prospecting. You're going to keep the pipeline full. You got to keep the pipeline of prospects full. You got a pipeline of prospects. You started from day one. Every day you got a pipeline. I've got Matthew in here in the pipeline. I've got Mike here in the pipeline. I've got Sue in the pipeline. I've got Mary in the pipeline. Whoever it is, I've got them in the pipeline. And I'm processing them through the pipeline. But I've got to feed my pipeline. You never let your pipeline get empty. Ever. It's like priming a pump. If you ever prime a pump and you start to see water come out of your pump and you get so excited, you stop priming it, at some point in time it's going to stop and you start the whole process over. You want to keep pumping the pump. Every day you should be prospecting. I can tell you, I remember David, I remember Jared, Craig Hill, a great source of it, Sam B. I would see these guys at the Galleria Mall, and I would see them every single day, priming their pump, feeding their pipeline, coming back, switching their quarters from the right to the left. Why? They ran out of names. They didn't have any more family they could talk to. And so now, let me give you the numbers here. I've got 5 days in the week, I'm doing the presentation. 5. That means I'm giving 5 one-on-ones a week. This is the minimums. Minimums. Most of these guys, if you ask Ali, who went diamond, where's Ali? Where's Ali? Where are you at, Ali? Let me ask you a question. When you went diamond, how many presentations a day were you doing? 6 to 10. So what I'm saying is this, maybe your faith is not that big at this moment, it's okay. You gotta crawl before you can walk, and you gotta walk before you can run. But he knew the process. He didn't luck up and go diamond. So 1 a day is the minimum. This is not going diamond now. This is just 1 a day, getting yourself ready. When you start getting into the gym, you don't go into the gym and put 500 pounds, say, I haven't been in the gym before, put 500, no. You start off just with the bar and work yourself into shape. Especially if your belief is not big enough to go like some of these people have gone. I can ask every one of these new emeralds, every one of these new rubies, they've done the same thing. Multiple presentations per day. So I'm saying in this example, thank you, Ali, I'm saying 1 a day. And in this example, if you fail 80% of the time, it means that every week you will sponsor somebody. That means every month you will have a minimum of 4 new frontline legs. So how do I know if you're working? I look at the seize the moment list. If you're doing this, it's impossible for you not to be in the top 300. It's impossible if you're working the business. Impossible. Don't tell me you don't have time. Don't tell me. I can tell you right now, there's not a distributor in our company, outside of Shane, who has a schedule like mine. If you knew how many meetings we got, how many meetings I have, conference calls that have nothing to do with building the business, how I got to wake up early in the morning so I can talk to Asia, how I got to wake up early or stay up late to talk to Asia, wake up early to talk to Europe and do conference calls here. At noon I'm doing calls because at 12 o'clock when I'm working with Denmark, it's 7 o'clock there. So it's crazy. But I still find time. I sponsor 2 a month since I've been in Organo Gold. Why? You got to set the example as a leader. Stop asking everybody to go, hey, you should be on the list and we can't find you. Hey, you gonna seize the moment? Well, you need to seize it first. So that's 4 a month. Why are you going to sponsor 4 a month? Because if you do it right, you now, in that 4 alone, if they never did anything else, you now have 40 subscriptions to a gourmet coffee service in your business. Because you're showing them, guys, when we're talking about the 10 clients, get that out of the way. You shouldn't be in your 3rd month talking about, I'm still working on customer number 6. No. So you're building this, I'm showing you how to construct a solid business. So now, I've got Matthew. Now this is what I'm going to do. Matthew, he's one of the people that I personally enrolled. Now I get to have fun. Matthew, I've signed him up in the business, I'm enrolling him. Matthew, let me ask you a question. Would you want to make money slowly or you want to make money fast?
I got to make it fast, time's money.
You want to make money fast. Matthew, for me to show you how to put it, if I could put $1,000 in your pocket, could you have about 15 to 20 people at your house on Tuesday or Thursday?
Yeah, absolutely.
Which one of those days fits your calendar the best?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. So now, here it is. Matthew, I need to go over there. Watch this. I went from nobody to contacting, to having a list now, to starting my pipeline, doing one-on-ones, sponsoring a few people, to now, I now have the ability to do my first CJM. I'm not going to take all of my 3-foot rule prospects and invite them to a CJM. I don't have a relationship with them. No. I'm not, I know each one of y'all just met y'all this week. No, I'm not going to do that. One-on-one, or I will invite them to a opportunity meeting. But I'm not going to take I am not going to invite them to my CJM. I may take Matthew or Daniel, and I may bring them to a CJM, but I'm not going to take my personal prospects, call all of them, and bring them over to a CJM. So you go from nobody, meeting people, one-on-ones, working the business, learning the people skills, learning to ask the right questions. You'll eventually sponsor some. In this case, 80% of people told you no. Out of the 80% who told you no, 50% of that 80% will tell you yes to your product. So if Matthew told me no, Matthew, you know what, I can appreciate that. I know time is very valuable to you. Being that time is very valuable, what I would like to do is I would like to earn the right to be your supplier of beverages. Matthew, what I'd love to do is this here. I'd love to make it where you'll never have to go to the store to go and buy your coffee. Let me take over that responsibility. I'd love to earn the right to do that. Matthew, let me share with you how I want to do it here. My business and the coffee subscribers I have, I do zero advertising. Right? You know, today we do millions of dollars in our business. I've never spent $1 on advertising. It's all been done by word of mouth and referrals. I would love to service you. This is the agreement. If there's any issue that you'll ever have regarding taste, quality, price, whatever it may be, I want to be the first person that you talk to so that I can right any wrongs that you're experiencing. Because I want to service you for the remainder of your coffee drinking life. I find out, now hold on, but what I do, I switch gears. You don't want nothing to do with the business. I sit down with them. I talk to them about what products you drink, how much coffee.